Well, hello, everybody. I'm glad you're able to be here with myself and Emilio DiSpirito of Engel Völkers. Hi, Emilio. How are you? Welcome to Coffee Talk with Vicky.
Great, Vicky. Thanks. Appreciate it.
I have to say, I'm going to give a little intro for Emilio, and then I'm going to let him take the stage. But I've been watching Emilio over the past few years. I've seen him grow, and I'm dating myself here. But I really love what he's done with his brokerage and with Joe Fazio, and it's really great. I feel honored to be part of it, and I'm honored to have you here. So I'm going to let you take the show because I know you have a lot to talk about opportunities for realtors. So tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us what realtors should be doing now.
Hey, Vicky. Thank you so much. And I got a lot of respect for you too. You're fantastic, and I love being surrounded with people that are uplifting, positive, and that are giving back. And this is the type of stuff that it's all about. It's all about collaboration, right?
Right.
So, in any time where there's any type of change, there's opportunity, and I want people to recognize the positive outcomes of opportunity. Okay. There's a lot of great things that are happening right now. And it gives us the opportunity as realtors to do stuff like this, to go on and to educate and inform the public about what's happening, right? And this is a perfect platform for that. While we're talking basically with real estate agents today, we want them to know that the positive message to the public is really what they need to see. Okay. We need to get back to basics as realtors. We can no longer kind of just sit there and allow for business to fall into our laps. And a lot of our veteran agents, if you've been doing this for several years, you know this and you're accustomed to this. You may need a jolt, like a kick, to kind of get back into it, right?
Right.
Because for the past couple of years, it's been a lot easier, but we got to get back to the basics. And what I mean by that, and what I really want to dive into today, is let's get rid of the shiny objects, okay? And let's focus on our core areas of influence. Let's focus on those people that always have to sell and always have to buy because of key moments in their life, right? And then let's focus on the professionals in which they need in their life and network with those professionals. It's as simple as that. And it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, Vicky, right?
Oh,
Like
it
you
is. I mean, it is, and I always say too, I mean, the market's shifting, but it's not a bad word. Shift is not a bad word. Real estate changes all the time. So you got to roll with the punches.
and so one of my coaches through Engel Völkers, Tom Coons is his name, and he's one of the senior vice presidents, and he was actually the CEO of Century 21, or the president of Century 21 in the 80s and the 90s, back when they had like the gold jackets and stuff.
Yeah.
And this guy is like just so unbelievably like real, and he's been seasoned, and I mean he's seasoned, he's been through it all. And I get some of this information from him today. This is a gentleman that's been in the industry for 40 years. And I was like, I need to share this, Tom. I need to get this out to people. And without that collaboration and without working together and learning together and being in an environment that fosters growth, okay, you're going to be in a negative mindset. So wherever you are, okay, make sure that you're in a place that fosters growth, wherever it is, right? So here's what Tom told me. He said, listen, people are always having babies. People that are having babies need maybe a bigger home, or they need to get out of a rental type of situation and control their home and their environment more for their baby and for their family, right? How about people that are getting married? People that are getting married are sometimes selling two different households, moving into one. That's 3 transactions.
Absolutely. I mean, we see it all. There's always a need for housing, food, housing, and clothing, right?
You're right. Now, how about those people getting a divorce, right? So in this sad situation, but when you're helping people go through a divorce, you're doing that. You're helping them. You're helping them get out of what could be a potential bad situation. You're helping them sell, and potentially both of them buy. That's another 3 transactions. Now, how about people who have a loss, death? Death is one of those things we just can't avoid. Taxes and death, right? It's the only 2 things that are certain in life. So you help people through that, with their family's home, with estate sales. And then the last one, which, is never going to change, is job. Either a job loss where they have to sell and downsize, right? Or a relocation, or they got a promotion and they're moving on up and they want something bigger, or they want a second home. So now, Vicky, I want to say, listen, let's think about the professionals for our network that are surrounded with all of this. And we'll start with marriage, right? How about you network with a DJ? How about you network with a makeup
That's a great
artist?
idea.
How about you network with, an event planner? Now, these are people that are talking with all of these people months ahead, sometimes a year ahead of time before they get married. And then you talk with them and you tell them to ask questions in their pitch to find out and get information, and then ask if they can make a connection with you and these people.
That's
And
an absolute great idea.
And in exchange, guess what? They go on my referral list of services, and I've got, remember the phone books back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You still have them?
I don't know. I don't think so. But what I do is I simply put every and any professional or service that my clients would ever really need in their life, I have in there. And these are all people that are tried and true. And I got it on this piece of paper. It's called my recommended referral list of services. And I give it to every client that I meet or that I know, family, friends, all of that. And it is amazing because guess what I'm doing? I'm creating opportunities to help my clients. I'm sending them to places through word of mouth that are going to help enhance their life, treat them well, price them fairly, and take care of them with whatever they need. And guess what happens when you give?
Oh, it comes back.
You get. And now I've got over 100 salespeople that are selling my business for me at all times. So the point being is back to basics. The referral network, you have to have it built. You have to build your referral network, right?
Absolutely. What do you suggest for a brand new realtor starting out? How, if they don't have that sphere of networking, what do you suggest on how to them to start their network?
That's a great question. I suggest look, it's good to be on social media and whatnot, but get on social media to take action. So basically go on LinkedIn, look at different people's profiles, trace it to their website, look for the following professionals to network with first, okay? Divorce attorneys. Okay, divorce attorneys are huge. That's a big, big area of business. Now, here's how to get a divorce attorney. Are you ready? You
Yep,
call a divorce attorney and you want someone that's probably maybe earlier on in their career, aggressive, might not have a referral partner as a realtor yet. You want to call them and you want to say, hey, how are you? It's Emilio DiSpirito. Hey, listen, Vicky, I know you do divorce work. That's correct, right?
yep,
Yes. All right. All right. Awesome. Listen, are there any times at all where you might need to maybe figure out what a home is worth, what the marital assets are worth?
absolutely.
And do you think it would benefit your clients if they didn't have to pay for an appraiser to get a number on their home just so that they can understand what they may be splitting?
100%.
Okay, awesome. So listen, here's what I want to offer you. But first, I obviously want to meet with you. But I want to see, would it help your business at all if you had a realtor that you could contact that was reputable and that knew the market, that could run numbers for your clients free of charge?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. So I want to learn more about your business as well, because I do have clients, unfortunately, that are going through the process of divorce here and there, and I want to make sure that they're in the right hands. So I'd like to sit down with you, maybe grab coffee, come by my shop, or I could go by your office. How's tomorrow at 3 or next Monday at 10 a.m.?
10 a.m. next Monday is good.
Okay, perfect. All right. Do you want to come here or go there?
I'll come to see you.
Awesome. I'd love to show you our shop at Engel Völkers. It's a fantastic place. And by the way, listen, if you're ever in Main Street in East Greenwich or Water Street in Warren, anytime you need a place to print something out or meet with clients and have a coffee, please feel free to use our facilities.
I love how you did that, and that's a good sales tactic. Tell a lot of newer realtors, give a choice, make it where they have to answer you.
Yep. Yep, you give two options.
Right.
And everything you do has to always be the process of closing to the next step.
Right.
And I think that's where too many people, including myself at times, still do sometimes, not as often as before, where I'll trip up and I'll forget to get someone to the next step. Now, you'll quickly be able to judge on that phone call if you want to do business with that attorney or not. Okay. But attorneys are fantastic referral sources of business. I got a $1.3 million listing from my good friend, John La Rochelle. Okay. He's a fantastic guy. He was selling a property. He was a divorce attorney. I met him in that manner, in that way. And now him and I do a lot of business together. He's assisted a lot of my friends, a lot of clients out with divorces. And in the meantime, I provide that service to him. And here's the deal. I do not expect to get a client every time he asks me to run a fair market value. Okay. People call it a CMA. I call it a fair market value report, because I run two different reports, and mine is way more, in depth. It's way more exact. It's far more customized to that home. Okay, so when I'm going on a listing appointment, that's something I say, and it's true.
And maybe we should do another video on listings, how to work with sellers, because there's so much you could talk about all this to get it done in like such a short amount of time. So I think that's a great opportunity to talk about listings.
Yep. Vicky, I agree. I agree. Absolutely. There's so many awesome topics to talk about. And I would strongly suggest anybody that's watching this right now, feel free to put comments in there to Vicky, because Vicky is one of those people that loves to teach, loves to give. I mean, she just did one of our professional development courses over here at Engel Völkers about, social media and all these wonderful things. I mean, look at the graphics on this video. Like you did that, you made that. And it's beautiful. And this whole production you have here is really high quality. So yeah, Vicky. So I would say divorce attorney. The next person, estate attorney, right?
That's huge. That's huge. Especially, it's sad to say, but like with COVID going around, we had a lot of death and, people, I'm starting to see a lot more, especially in certain areas. I'm starting to see a lot more estate sales than normal.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of that is, the whole COVID thing. I
know.
I think people whatever. I'm not going to get into that stuff, but I feel like we have a massive baby boomer population. Okay, and the baby boomers are still holding most of the wealth in this country, right, in the world, right? But they're aging, and some of them are we're starting to see them pass on. And they own their homes, a lot of them outright, and they have family, and sometimes they don't even have their probate set up correctly. They don't have their estate set up correctly where their home has to go into probate. Okay. Yeah. So whenever you're working with family members that are going through the loss of a loved one already, it's hard enough. So by having an estate planner, like an estate attorney. I love Jill Sugarman. That's my go-to for estate planning and the estate attorney. She's fantastic. Okay. She's out of East Providence. She's unbelievable. She takes care of people. She gets them through it. And I know whenever I send a client there, good to go. But the same thing with Jill. She knows, Vicky, if she needs to get a fair market value report from me, I'm going to prepare that with no strings attached. And time to time, I'll get a listing out of it.
Right. Well, and it's so important too, because like how many times have you gone to a listing, it's an estate sale, and the question you should ask, has this been through probate yet? And I would say the majority of realtors don't even know how to handle that.
Well, and it's not even necessarily their fault, because guess who is going out of their way teaching them about these opportunities? And that's why I'm glad they're here right now, because anybody that's sitting here listening to this or watching YouTube or listening to podcasts is somebody that I respect, because they're looking to learn. And I got to tell you, if you are always looking to learn, you're going to win in this business. The average American reads one book per year, Vicky, right? One book per year. You know what I said? I said, I'm in my car a lot. And I love music. I love EDM, right? Like I love like dancing while I'm driving and stuff. I like to keep it light, have fun. But you know what I love more? I love the ability of learning while I'm driving. So now I'm just nerding out in the car listening to books. I'm like learning so much. And I figured out that in my time in the car, I can read 26 or listen to 26 books. What happens to you when you can now, when you know 26 times more than someone else?
It's absolutely. I do the same thing when my fiance gets in my car and he goes to put the radio. He goes, "You don't have any stations on." I have all like audio books and or talk radio. I don't listen to the radio.
That's
He
why you're
makes
a
fun of me. I'm
success.
like geeking out too.
It's why you're a success, Vicky. It's why builders are going to you in droves. It's why you have listings coming up in a market where so few do. It's why you've been able to keep it consistent through the years. It's why, because you're learning and giving and teaching.
And you have to in this business. And it's like it always says the expression is we heard it earlier today, ABC always be closing. I always
Yeah,
say ABL always be learning.
I like that. I like
Because
it's
when
true.
you learn, you close, and you always have to learn. And that's why I like doing these videos with professionals like yourself, that have a lot to offer, to help the people that need to learn. Because there's so much out there for people to learn, and there's so many programs out there, but I think it's really like getting down to grassroots and learning from people that are in the business doing it, and somebody that hasn't been doing it for years and teaching it, because you got to be in tune with what's going on. And right now, you said it earlier, like the realtors now, we had it easy.
Yeah,
Some of these realtors have not had a market like this where you have to learn to negotiate. You have to learn to market a property properly. I mean, everything was like put an offer in higher than asking, waive everything.
yeah,
You weren't negotiating home inspections. You weren't negotiating the price, the appraisal. There's so much that happens in between. So it's really important for realtors to, especially ones that haven't been in a down market. I mean, the foreclosure market, a lot of people got out of the industry because of that,
sure.
which was a good thing. And now we're going to see another wave of people leaving because it was easy money. And I really don't even think it was easy money.
No, it was still hard. Yeah, yeah. But it was coming in droves. Like everyone wanted to buy a house, right? So at least you had buyers like coming in. So you knew, you probably showing as many homes as you could, placing 10, 15 offers to get one accepted. But that in itself was a really awesome learning experience. And I hope that I'm speaking to those realtors as well, like the vets. We're gonna talk with you in a second, but the realtors that have only been in the business for 2 years, maybe 3 years or so, right? Or less. This is a perfect opportunity for you to really hone in on your skills and learn, okay? Because you already were in a challenging market last year with very low listing inventory. It was a tough market. So you've been there, you've done it. Now we're just looking at a different type of toughness, which, by the way, this stuff builds resilience, okay? And this is all here to help build your resume. And I always say, man, God doesn't give you anything you can't handle, okay? So we can handle this, okay? If times get tough, it doesn't mean to quit. It means you got to learn a different way to do it. That's it. Okay. So
Exactly.
we're teaching you a couple different ways, and we want to learn from you too. Like, if you put content out there that's awesome and useful, I want to know about that. Connect with me. Like, let's do this, right? So Vicky, so we've got our divorce attorney, we've got our estate planner. How about a CPA, certified
That's
public accountant?
perfect. Got all the dirt.
The CPAs, man, those are people that are entrenched with people and their wealth. And there are not enough CPAs out there. I don't know if you know this, but there's a CPA shortage right now. So these
Oh, I
these
didn't know
guys,
that.
these guys and girls are super busy, right? But if you can connect with one that's maybe newer to the business, that's hungry, you're going to do pretty well. You really, really, really are. So CPAs, awesome people to connect with. All of your clients need a CPA. I always say, don't go to H&R Block. No offense, H&R Block. Go to a CPA. Okay, go to CPA, someone that really understands the
Especially
tax.
when you purchase a house, you have a lot more involved in.
You got write-offs, you got everything. Or when you own rental properties, or you own a business, or even realtors, we're all business owners, right? Do you have a P&L? That's another video we got to talk about.
Oh yes, definitely.
Do you have a profit and loss statement? How much money are you paying, overpaying in taxes at the end of the year? Because guess what? The IRS is okay with you writing off your fair share of taxes. They are okay. Our system is designed for business owners. Our system is designed for self-employed people, because self-employed people generate and stimulate the economy. And that's what, believe it or not, the IRS wants. That's what the government wants.
And
We've got
especially real estate. Real estate's, we're a big part of the economy.
We're one of five pillars, I believe, that supports the economy. Yeah. So the next person I want you to network with would be a financial advisor. Okay. Financial advisors are a wealth of information. We just had on Sandra Peters from Brightview Financial out of Ameriprise. She came into our shop. She was talking with our advisors, and I learned you can take money out of an IRA and use it for a purchase of your first home without paying any penalties. You got to pay taxes on that amount, but no penalties. So it's all those little nuggets of information that you can learn and then relay back to your clients, which separate you from the other realtors. Okay.
ABL. Always be learning.
Always be learning, always ABG, always be giving. Right. So, and then also financial advisors are like realtors, right? People discuss everything with them.
Right.
They know when people need to move, downsize, when they are able to buy that second home. There's tax benefits in buying a second home. Okay, so when you're working with this, especially if you want to break into luxury, you network with some big time players, some big time financial advisors, you're going to do pretty well. You're going to get a stream of referrals, but don't wait for those referrals to come in. Build a network so awesome, so massive, so fantastic that that you can't help but get hit in the face with business.
Absolutely. And you also got realtors that like you're in a certain age group, like if you're in that age group of the first time home buyer, you got a plethora of business right there. Or if you're in the age group like myself, where you're getting into the empty nesters, I'm in that baby boomer category.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that are downsizing, and they're selling and then they're buying,
Huge. It's fantastic, and you're right. And the next person you need to be networking with is a lender. And by the way, go with a lender you would send your mom or dad to. Go with a lender you'd be comfortable sending grandma to. Okay, and if you're lucky enough to still have grandma, but because this person is such an integral part of the process, and stay loyal to your lender. Matt Bates with Movement Mortgage and I've been doing business with Matt for like 7 or 8 years, right? Everyone knows all the lenders in the industry, and I love them. I've got so many friends that are lenders, and they're fantastic, and I would refer them and I would work with them. But I tell them all, listen, I just don't have the need, because Matt will pick up my phone before it even rings, my call before it even rings, and he's there, and he treats my clients like that. If I need him at 9 p.m. on a Saturday, boom, he's there.
Yeah,
Right?
it's so important especially a newer realtor, to have that team behind you. Because I mean, you heard this expression, the transaction's only as good as the team behind you. So create that network of people you want to work with and you can collaborate with.
100%, Vicky. So, shout out to Matt Bates for always being there. But again, there's a million other fantastic loan officers out there as well that I would strongly suggest too. So link up with someone that has the types of programs that your core clientele need, right? Like, so if it's Sal Savastano, Main Street Home Loans, I love him. He's fantastic. One of the best as well in the business. And he's got, they kill it in Rhode Island housing. They crush it. They also do jumbo loans. They do everything, right? But so have 1 or 2 lenders and a bank that you work with, but primarily use that one lender, right?
And as well as I do, when you have that relationship with a lender and they're good, or an attorney or anyone in your team, when you're putting that offer in, it's really important, because you get offers from some people and like, oh God, this is going to be a disaster. It's going to fall apart before we even get started. So you have to be with reputable people and good people that in the industry that are known, and even though I don't feel like, okay, so Matt works with you, right? Doesn't mean he doesn't work with anybody else, so he's not off limits.
Exactly.
Leanna just said, love Matt.
And it's that's the industry, but again, that's what makes our industry beautiful, right? Like, I mean, there's so many realtors and so many different brokerages that I'm friendly with, and you don't need to be in the same brokerage to help one another out. Albert Heiderai, okay, I think he's where is he now? I think he's at HomeSmart, maybe. I don't know. But Albert Heiderai, right? He's a realtor. He's a friend of mine, and he's putting together like groups of people that meet and exchange ideas in all different businesses. And I think that's amazing. You know, group of realtors getting together here in Rhode Island, exchanging business ideas. We don't have to be necessarily competition, because guess what? There's like 450,000 households in Rhode Island. How likely is it that you're going to walk in against, one of your friends or someone you're working with? Highly unlikely.
Absolutely. I get agents that call me that I used to work with years ago. I might have a certain forte that I am prevalent to than
Yeah,
they are, and they'll ask my questions. I still get brokers call me about brokerage questions, So
yes,
it's I always feel like if you're more experienced, it's our duty to help our peers, our colleagues, because it makes us all look bad if we don't,
agreed. Agreed, 100%. So another thing too is cleaning companies, right? Like link up with cleaning companies, restoration companies, make this list. And I would strongly suggest, if there's no, like, BNI is fantastic, Business Networking International. Those are, the realtor seat is the hardest seat to get in the group. I went up
that
against
is.
probably 20 plus other realtors fighting for this seat. Okay. And it was literally, I felt like I was running for a presidential campaign. I, shook hands, kissed babies, like met with as many of the people as I could. But every darn time I was at that Business Networking International meeting, we meet at Cello's. I belong to City Biz. There's 45 of us. Every time I was there, I was referring business to at least 2 people in that audience. And these were key people in that I knew would vie for me and get me into that group, right? So you got to be strategic. Now, if there is no group like that, okay, make your own. Find people that are committed to growth and learning and excellence, and stick with these people and grow with them and build your business with them.
That's a great tip, because I was part of a BNI years ago, and I got a lot of referral business from that. And I was actually the highest referrer in the group.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
and
That's
I still work with these people, like we still refer over the years. So it's
yeah.
like those relationships did not diminish. So it's really great.
And the other thing too, Vicky, about these networking groups is they hold you accountable. They
Yes.
hold you accountable, right? So, basically when you're sending out referrals, or you're getting referrals, it's usually always good business. It's always good stuff. And now you have power players, people, business owners, service providers, that you could pick their brain about how to even run or work a business, how to, like I said, put together a P&L, all that stuff in the background that realtors don't think about, the foundation of our business that we don't pay any attention to, right? Without a solid foundation, okay, your home is going to fall down. Okay. It just is what it is. You need a foundation. You can't put the frame on mud.
Now, let
Okay.
me ask you a question for the realtors out there, with the market the way it's shifting. And honestly, I don't feel like, yeah, it's shifting, but I'm not worried about it, to be honest with you. But there are some that are. Um, what's the one tip that you can give them right now that they should be doing that's like crucial?
Work harder than everybody else. Number one, don't listen to the negativity or the naysayers. Stop talking with the people that want to stand at the cooler and bitch and moan. Just cut it out. I have zero time for people like that. And I really, like, I'll tell people right away, cut it out. I don't want that negativity in my life. I don't want it. Right. So even talking about that, like, is just like too much for me, right? So here's the deal, right? The universe will conspire against you, and this is, with you, not against you. See that negative? You see what happened? I was talking negative and bow, right?
Yeah.
But the universe, God, whatever you believe, right? It's all one and the same, okay? But will work with you and will provide for and with you when you are looking for it, searching for it, and making it known that you're going to win. You're going to succeed by always putting others first. Give more than you expect to get in all aspects, okay? And you are going to build a reputation. Vicky, 10 years ago, I was the brokest dude around. Okay, and I tell this story, and new realtors, they get a kick out of this. Man, I was driving through the streets of Main Street, my bumper hanging on with zip ties. I was avoiding the repo man eviction door on my apartment. Okay, people, other agents in East Greenwich pointing, laughing at me. Look at this trash. Like, who does he think he is? Like this or that, right? Like that's okay. It's part of being a human. And I think a little people pushing you around a little bit is actually good for you because it lit a fire under me, right? And now you can't go down Main Street in East Greenwich without seeing our building. Okay,
Right.
without working with wonderful advisors that we have here. So your growth will happen exponentially when you always give more than you expect to get. So I want anybody out there right now who's having a hard time, I want you to like pick up the phone and call me. I'm happy to help you out. I'm happy to guide you, or call someone, a mentor. Just get in touch with someone. Listen to some books. Okay.
What would be a book that you would recommend?
Well, one of the classics, you got to start somewhere, right? So the first time I ever read a book from front to back was 10 years ago, and that was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon
That's
Hill.
the book you got to read. It really is. I still read it. I still read it over to this day, or I audio listen to it.
Yeah. But that's a book definitely I think you should read. And because here's what happened, right? I read that book and I started meeting with people, building my network. Okay. And almost every person I interacted with that was successful has read that book at a point in time. Okay. And I saw the book on their bookshelf, or I saw the book. Hi, Ludovica. Hello. How are you? You're the best. Ludovica over at our office. She's amazing. She runs the front desk. Thank you. And the other thing too, Vicky, is I don't like when people say, I'm self-made. I'm self-made. You are not. Look, it takes your motivation. You got to get out of bed and do it, but you're not doing it without a team. You're not doing it without, the mortgage guy or girl. You're not doing it without the attorney. You're not doing it without advice from other people that came before you. You're just not doing it alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
But it's on you to perform and to be motivated enough to move forward.
My big thing is I don't watch the news in the morning.
No.
That is like the most depressing thing, and I don't like to end my day with it. And like I don't even like to watch horror movies because there's so much horror in the world. Like why do I have to watch it and inflict it on myself? So it's all mindset. It really is. And I think if you you let every outer influences get in your mind,
Yeah.
it's just going to bring you down. And you have to be motivated, and you have to surround yourself by positive people.
Yeah.
Bottom line, you have to surround yourself with positive people.
And so when I was a little bit younger, I never liked TV. I'm not a TV guy, right? I figured out that the average American watches roughly 15 years of TV. You're sitting down on your rear, eating chips, just becoming the typical couch potato. Do you know how much awesome things you could do? Do you know how many people you can help in 15 years? What you can do in 15 years of life, like think about that. That's insane. So, and now I think the big epidemic is not even so much TV, but it's social media, and it's a wonderful platform because we're on it right now. But I think stuff like this is beneficial. But then looking at everybody else's fake life and their fake, happy stuff all the time, this and that, and comparing yourself to others is also another thing that I think we need to avoid. We need to really live in the moment. Another great book is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
That is a good book.
Super weird when you're listening to it at first. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know if this is for me. But that book is fire. Secrets to Power Negotiation by Roger Dawson. Secrets to Power Persuasion by Roger Dawson. All fantastic stuff, but use this stuff really in the best ways for the best interests, right, of everyone.
So let me ask you, if somebody wants to get in touch with you to take you up on your offer, and give advice and sit down with you, how would they contact you?
Yeah, Vicky. So several different ways. I mean, if you just Google anybody, you're going to find all their info through social media, anything like that. Or they can literally text me right on my cell phone. It's 401-359-2338. And that's right down on the bottom here. Nice, great graphic, Vicky. Thank you. Text, call, email, stop by, whatever. I mean,
And
We're
I'll put your
here.
information in the chat as well.
Thank you, Vicky. Yeah, we're looking to surround ourselves with wonderful people that are excited to come into work and that genuinely want to be, a key part of the process of buying or selling a home or investment properties, and people that are looking to give back. That those are the type of people that we want to surround ourselves with.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to say I'm really honored to be part of it. And there's a great group of people. I was a very hands-on broker when I had my brokerage, and you and Joe were the same way. And you guys kind of remind me a little bit of myself, but you're a little bit more polished.
I'll get out of here.
But I was very blunt when I said things to some of the people. Because I want to see people succeed, and I'm always it's so nice when you're helping people succeed and they do it, and like you feel like you've actually made a difference in somebody's life when that happens. And I have to say, Engel and Völkers, that you guys also opened up. You're opening up another shop.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty crazy. We got our shop in East Greenwich on Main Street. And then our second one is on the East Bay because, like Vicky, like I don't want to just say like, oh, here's, the east side of Providence. We want to jump in there and take over. Like there are fantastic agents in all these different locations that own the markets, right? But we did a lot of business on the East Bay and in the East Bay, and I love all these markets, but we organically are growing where we're doing business, and it makes sense. So we've done a lot of business in the East Bay: Barrington, Warren, Bristol, Portsmouth, Newport, and I know it's not necessarily East Bay, but that's Middletown, Tiverton, Little Compton, East Providence, even the east side of Providence. Like all those areas are now serviced by that location, which is fantastic.
No, it's wonderful, and I'm glad to see you guys grow, and it's really nice. And
Thank you.
any agents that are looking to join, feel free to reach out to Emilio. Or if you don't know his information, reach out to me. I'll forward your information to him. But it's really a great office to be part of. I know when I was looking, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to open up my brokerage again I didn't know what I was doing. I'm at that.
Why would you want to do that?
That's why I didn't do it.
Kidding.
And I've always loved your story. I've watched you over the years, and I've always loved your story. And I've been watching you guys, what you've been doing over the years, and I really loved it. And I know a lot of people in this industry, and I really, really, I didn't go to anybody else, honestly. I had brokers call me, why didn't you come to me? I didn't know you were looking. And my answer was like, I wasn't looking. I knew where I wanted to go.
Yeah, that means a lot. It really does. And we feel the same way too. Like we're just like, it's just, again, that's like I said, the universe, right? Like it just works with you. The universe conspires with you. It attracts. The law of attraction is real. And, and just working with and linking up with people that you should be with and that lift you up. And that's what it's all about, right? Let's lift each other up regardless. Even if you don't work here and you want to network, if you want to talk, if you want to learn from one another, all good. Like we're open, we're here.
Yeah. And the Law of Attraction is another good book.
Fantastic.
Read another good book. You can even watch the video if you don't want to read the book.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because if you go to any of these networking events or coaching events or any of this stuff, it's all based on the law of attraction. Every single bit. It's just worded differently, but it's all pretty much the same. And I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, our time is up. We went a little bit over because there's so much to talk about. If there's anything that anybody wants us to discuss in the future, let's put something in the comments. We have quite a few people that joined. Leanna D'Amico says, I'm reading the book second time.
Liana, we love Liana. Liana, I got to give Liana a quick shout out if I could, right? Liana D'Amico, she's unbelievable, right? This girl is just one of those people that is just working so hard to be the best at what she does. She's taking every opportunity to learn. She takes care of her clients. Her clients give her glowing recommendations, and her business has been blowing up.
Yes, it has.
Blowing up. I mean, millions and millions of dollars of business. So Liana, keep going. Really, that's super inspiring.
Yeah, no, she is good. She was at the home inspection the other day. She's really, really good.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like I said, anybody have any questions before we sign off? Just put them on the chat. Liana said thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Our pleasure, Liana.
And if you have any questions in the chat, feel free to put them on even after we sign off. We'll get them answered. And I'll have Emilio's information in the chat as well. So if you want to reach out to him just to pick his brain, or if you want to join Engel and Volkers, I will say firsthand, great office to be part of. And I want to thank you for being here. We're going to have to do another one because there's just so much
I
information.
I love this stuff. I really do. It's fantastic. So, and I love to learn too. So thank you, Vicky. Awesome job. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank everybody for joining. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody's time. Take care.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.